Good night, YouTubers, YouTube watchers. My name is Franz J. Fortuny, but I am a Mexican citizen. I was born in the city of Merida, Yucatan. I have lived here all my 70 years. I've traveled to a few countries of the world, but not too many of them, and not for too long. And if I speak English, it's because I have always used it. And I have a habit of learning languages by listening to them in movies and stuff like that. But English is something you have to use all the time because of the work you do, the books you read, or whatever. Since I am a web applications developer, you know, the whole thing, all the tiers that are included in a web application, and I have had to use English, so I can use English to talk to you right now. What do I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to you about the fact that I see that you had a great opportunity as a nation to accept the model that Bernie Sanders was offering. And I don't understand why you did not accept this. The Democratic Party, you have the DNC, whatever, did everything impossible, everything that I would have ever thought that you Americans would do in order to avoid Bernie Sanders from being elected. What is Bernie Sanders' sin? To tell you that it's possible in a nation like yours to enjoy certainty concerning your health, to enjoy certain security in your mind that if you get sick for any reason, you are not going to have to go bankrupt or make all your friends and relatives go bankrupt. You know, health should be a universal human right. And Bernie Sanders came to tell you that. You don't like that. You like to suffer because of the health thing, right? And that's why you reject Bernie Sanders. And the first thing that those who contradict Bernie Sanders come up with is one question. How is he going to pay for it? The question is so ridiculous. So ridiculous, so out of the reality. You're going to pay for it the way you pay for lots of things that you don't need. And that your politicians decide that you need, and they do spend the money on things that you definitely don't need. Your nation doesn't need it. You don't need those things as a citizen. And they're paying for them. And nobody asks where the money is going to come from. And the same thing happens with the university for everybody. Why? What's wrong with that? What didn't you like about Bernie Sanders' idea? What's wrong with his idea? What is wrong with telling you that it's possible for the American people to go through the university without leaving the university in debt, unable to buy a house, unable to, fund a family? What is the problem? What is so terrible that you cannot accept what this guy is offering? Why can't you accept that? Why can't you say, yes, it's possible. It's time for us to go this way. What makes it so difficult for all you guys? I mean, I know is this of my business? Well, I don't know. Your president, Trump, insulted my country. I mean, he said terrible things against Mexico. And a lot of them, very well deserved, but some of them completely beyond what would be acceptable. Probably one of the safest cities in the world is the city where I live, and the state where I live, state of Yucatan. And so he should not have generalized about all Mexicans. There are several kinds of Mexicans, okay? And I don't think Bernie Sanders would have ever treated Mexico the way this other guy treated Mexico. We do have a lot of problems in this country. You know what the most terrible problem is? The big distance between the very rich and the very poor, and the very small middle class that we have. You see, politicians don't like middle classes. They like a lot of poor people and a few very rich ones. This is much easier for them to negotiate. With these, they negotiate until they get what they need. And with these, the poor ones, well, they have what we call in Spanish carne de cañón. You know, those who are going to follow like sheep. And so, why did you do this, Americans? Why did you reject Bernie Sanders' ideas? Why did you reject the model of society that Bernie Sanders was offering? Why? Why every time? I mean, I know people who are suffering, who are struggling because of the very difficult time they're having trying to pay their bills, because some debt they have for some health operation they had to have that they're still paying for, or a university bill that they're still paying for 2 or 3 kids. And, you know, they would say, oh, no, it's too liberal. What does too liberal mean? When did the word liberal become a problem? When did this word become a problem? Why are there so many people that when they hear the word liberal, they think it's almost the devil? Well, to begin with, I don't believe in other devil than the devil we humans create on earth. And I'll tell you what, you're not helping get rid of the devil you have created in your country by rejecting Bernie Sanders. But, you know, this is just one thing I had to come out here and say. Why are you rejecting the guy that can give you a different kind of structure of nation in which you, Americans, are going to really enjoy all those resources that America, the country, United States of America, has on behalf of who? Of the people, it should be. Not of the 1%, not of some politicians. What's happening? Why did you do this? Why did you reject this guy? Bernie Sanders is not a populist. No, he's not a populist. He's a thinker. This guy is capable of thinking because he's capable of using his brain. And if you use your brain and think a little outside the box for a few minutes, you're going to see that you need Bernie Sanders. Yeah, but who am I to tell you that? I'm not even an American citizen. Well, listen to me as an outsider who has observed what is going on in your nation and comes and tells you, this is what I see. And I ask you the question, why do you reject this guy? I don't think you should reject this guy. If you think about this guy a little more, if you think about what this guy is offering a little more, then you're going to see that there's nothing wrong in everything this guy is offering. Nothing. Everything is right. Everything is good for you, the American people. So why do you reject this man? Why? There's no way I can get a reasonable, intelligent response to that question. I don't see. But then I read a book about prejudices. Prejudices, written by an American author a long time ago, more than 110 years ago. And everything that this book says is exactly what's happening right now in your country. Prejudices. You are prejudging. You have prejudged Bernie Sanders. You have prejudged his ideas, the way he plans to do things. Do you think he's crazy? He's not. No, rejecting him is an irrational decision. I don't even know who Bernie Sanders. I mean, I've never seen him. I mean, I know who he is. I know how he speaks, and he will be the first person that I would want to be the president of the world. And I don't think most people understand economy, starting with the economists. Economy is not what you think it is. Economy is the resources that are at the service of men, of humankind, of men and women, and children, and everybody. That is what the economy is. You do have resources, then you have economy. Economy is not money. Economy is resources on behalf of the people. Okay? You can use money if you want as a means of, what is the word? You know, proving that you have a right to those resources. You invented money. Or people invented money. But rejecting Bernie Sanders doesn't make any sense. Good night. Thank you for listening, if you did.